Hey, you out there?
Good job. Hi, everybody. I'm an addict called JJ. I'm clean today, and that's a miracle in my life, man. And that's only due to God's grace and the program of Narcotics Anonymous. I'm speaking on the pamphlet, Who, What, How, and Why. And I just found out a couple of days ago I was doing this, right? And he tells me the pamphlet. I'm like, okay, I'll do this, right? So I'm glad to see I wasn't the only one that had to pull it up on the internet. And because I'm not a, when I first came to meetings, we didn't even have a basic text. We had this white book, these little white booklets. So I'm not real into the whole pamphlet thing. And thanks to Fred, and asking me a couple times to do this, I have started to get into these pamphlets, man, and there's some really good information in there. But this one is like all of our preamble readings, the steps, and the traditions. And I'm like, okay. There's not a whole lot of meat there, you know. I mean, we hear this every time we come into the rooms, the readings, you know. And I got to thinking about it. And, you know, first, before I go on, hear this. I am sharing my experience, okay? So do not think that I'm shooting at anybody or stepping on anybody's toes, okay? And if you recognize yourself in this, you may want to take a look at that. But that's the way I have treated these readings. You know, who is an addict? What is the Narcotics Anonymous program? Why are we here? How it works? The traditions. They're just the preambles. You know, if I'm running late, oh, dude, I got 15 minutes. They do the readings. You know? Or I'll come into the meeting, and they'll be doing the readings, and I got to get my coffee. I got to use the bathroom. Now I got to hug everybody. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You know, when I first really started looking at what these readings said was my first identification that, hey, man, I might belong here. You know, and we hear them so much that it becomes routine. Have you ever been in a meeting and somebody is asked to read the reading and they come up, they don't even have the paper with them, they can recite it. We hear it so much, you know. And what I know today, there's a member at my home group, and he's been clean for quite a long time. And when we go through, you know how we do how it works, and everybody's, what's that? And who's this? I mean, this dude gets irate, man. He gets hot. And I never used to understand that. Dude, if it gets people's attention and it keeps them focused on what's going on, what's it hurt? Well, basically, it's hurting the same thing that I'm hurting when I come in there and get my coffee and do my hugging and being all that. Because what it is that I may be stopping from that person who's going to get that identification that they do belong here because I'm being selfish and self-centered and doing my thing during the time. See, I had the opportunity to hear this stuff and recognize, and everybody that walks through that door deserves that same opportunity and respect. See, and who is an addict? Most of us don't have to think twice about this question. We know. Okay? Anybody, I mean, if you're in here right now, pretty good sign. You know? And I hear this and I see we live to use and use to live. That was enough for me to recognize I belonged here, man. Because that's what I did. You know, when I was out there, when I was doing that deal, there was nothing. No family member, no job, no child, no significant other. There was nothing that came before me getting that first fix of the day. Nothing. Because, unfortunately, I chose to use a drug that there was no, I don't think I'm going to get high today. Oh, you're going to get high and you're going to get your ass up and move around now. See, part of the reason it took me so long to get clean, because I was scared of having to get off of that deal. See, when I come in here and I read this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I wasn't the only one. You know, the next one, it goes into the What is the Narcotics Anonymous program. And guys, I know this is going to be sensitive term, but it is what it is. See, because regardless of what our opinions are or our perception of reality, the truth is the truth. Period. See, and then what is the Narcotics Anonymous program? The most important line of the whole deal is there is only one requirement for membership, and that is the desire to stop using. Period. Period. It says we are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups and are under no surveillance at any time. It says anyone may join us regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. Well, you know what? That opened the door for me. Because I didn't have to be what you thought I had to be. I didn't have to believe the way you thought I should believe. And I didn't have to act the way you thought I should to be a part of this deal. That gave me the latitude to come in here and to figure out who I was, to figure out what's proper, to figure out how I'm supposed to behave in here for my standards, and then to carry that message to another act. See, and what I know today is that there's a difference between carrying a message and inflicting my opinion on somebody. But see, my opinion will get you high. But this right here, this will keep you clean. That's why we stick to a pure Narcotics Anonymous message. Because when we get into, I think, I feel, I believe, well, look, here, I'm going to say this, and y'all take it for what it's worth. If it's not NA, it's probably BS. If you can't justify it with the literature, with your sponsor's experience, with your own experience, or with the people that you trust around you, you may really want to take a look at that. Because, see, I believe in the process. I believe that when we vote something in a group conscience, it's God's will. And it happened for a reason. I believe everybody that's sitting in one of these seats is here for a reason. And you may not be here for you. You may be here for me. Thank you for being a part of my recovery. Because, see, what I know today is that when it says one addict helping another is without parallel, Shirley just shared about it, man. I've had doctors, I've had lawyers, I've had cops, I've been dunked, laid hands on, sprinkled, exercised, you name it, none of that shit worked. And then I came in here with a bunch of dope fiends that did the same thing I did, and guess what? I finally got it. Imagine that. But the thing is, man, how are you going to tell me to drive to Cincinnati if you ain't never been there? You know, talking about why are we here? It says after coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. You know, it took me a long time to get a grip on this whole sick thing because I thought I was just bad. You know? And that's what everybody else told me. My teachers, my coaches, my parents, my everybody. You got a problem with authority and you're just bad. See, so when they told me I was sick and I had a disease, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm fine. I couldn't get a grasp on the whole disease concept. What I understand today is that I'm not a bad person trying to get good. I'm a sick person trying to get well. You know, my dad had diabetes. And they laid down this diet, everything that he had to do every day, right? And he did it religiously. And guess what? When he passed away, he didn't pass away from diabetes. This is my medicine. If I take it every day religiously, the way it's directed for me to be taking it, guess what? I won't die from active addiction. I may die some other way. Because like Shirley, I'm a character defect factory waiting for somewhere to happen. You know, and how it works, it talks about these are the principles. The line reads, if you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. It didn't say nothing about stopping getting high. It said on recovery. Because, like you, I could take the dope away and still be a thieving, lying, batshit crazy fool running around the streets with untreated addiction. See, in recovery, for me, I had a real hard time with that because, you know, like other people have shared, I'm my worst critic. You know, and I remember what I was. I shared this the other day at a meeting. I'm trying to start my own business, right? And so I go to this lady's house and I give her a bid on a siding job, right? And we're talking and whatnot. And this is my initial visit. I mean, I had put a building in her backyard so she saw that I was a worker. That's how all this got started. But we're sitting there, and in the middle of our conversation, right, she whips out a checkbook and writes out a check, man, puts my name on it, and hands it to me. And I look at it, and it's for, thousands of dollars. Well, being the salesman I am, you know, I used to sell cars, so I know what to do with a check. But after it was all said and done, man, and I went out in the driveway and I got in my car and I sat there and I looked at that check and I thought, you know what, if this lady knew who she was giving this check to, she damn sure wouldn't have put this much money in my name and my hands. And you know, a friend of mine last night pointed out to me at the meeting, she did know that's why she handed it to you. Because of how it works, I'm not that person anymore. When JJ tells you, I'll be there at 2 o'clock, guess what? He's there at 1:45. If JJ tells you, you do this work and I'll pay you, guess what? You expect to put some money in your pocket. That's what this program has given me. And that's not anything that had anything to do with me, because I'm that one. You hand me your $20 to go to school. You might see me again one day, but I wasn't going to have your money or your stuff. Trust that. This thing has been a huge blessing in my life, and it has turned my life completely around. But it didn't happen by osmosis, man. I didn't put the book under my pillow and sleep on it, and automatically I got that deal. You know, this deal is, okay, I'm going to apologize for this. Excuse this before I say it. This thing is not sexually transmitted. Okay? You can't ride your sponsor's coattails into recovery. It's a do-it-yourself deal. And I promise you, man, if you devote half the effort into this deal as you did running around trying to do that other deal, your life will be beautiful too. It really will. You know, I thought it was interesting, man. I was looking at the last page of this deal, and it starts off with traditions. It's got the first part of it, and it's got the traditions, but it don't have that last part. Kind of like our sister's fellowship, you know? I was looking at them going, wow, I guess they thought that was too much for them to fucking relate to off the bat, you know? The traditions, man, were the point where I would always, if it was a non-smoking meeting, that's where I'd go get my cigarette. Or that's where I'd go get my